that I'm teaching coding classes in there. Do you know the average coder, how much he gets a year? 117,000 a year. And I'm teaching that. And who do I get? I get 1 or 2 little young brothers in the classroom. Makes no sense. We got to get it pulled up in there. Because then when you build with them, they can take it out back in the world, and then we can get that meeting or whatever we need to have to build that school. What I'm seeing is that there's a lot of people young people that's in here, including myself, that I have kids that I went to college and decided to go away from the nation. Why? Because you got individuals that don't know how to teach. Don't get in my baby face and start yelling at me. Don't get in my baby face and start telling them what I ain't teaching. Because I don't want to see that. And then when you got some brothers bring their babies around, now everybody want to get in their face. Bring your own. Bring your own. Bring them in there. Let them learn how to see what they want to learn out of it. Just let them, just relax. I got a young brother that I bring every Saturday. And to teach him discipline, he didn't show up at I told him the time is 10 o'clock when he's supposed to be there. He didn't show up, I was gone. That's discipline. Let him learn for himself. Now, if there's something that he want to do, he gonna be there. So the first time I brought him, because there's a lot of kids in the community that you can talk to if you talk to their parents. You just can't grab them off the street like we used to do back in the days. Yo, come with me here and go with me here. You can't do that no more. You'll be arrested. And that'd be one of Yahuwah's rules and regulations right there. So you can't just grab them. You got to get permission from the parents. You get the permission from the parents and you tell them what you're about to do. Because some of these ladies out here need help. Brothers have disappeared. They done disappeared. There's a lot of people, a lot of the babies that now they telling them, oh, you need to take this pill so that you can cope with society. That's not true. If you sit a kid down and you start really building with him, you can find out all the issues. Some of them be hungry. Some of them, the parents in the house are smoking. Some of the parents is on dope. So you got to know how to solve the problems. And one of the things that I know from being in the nation of God's earth is that I am a problem solver. So the duty of a civilized man is to do what? There you go. So like a lot of my brothers come up to me a lot of times, and I don't mind you checking me, but I've been around here a long time. And I'm watching what goes on. And that's why I went to school to get my Jews so that I can go out here and build and go inside where the devil is and take him out of it. So that makes me an overtaker, not an undertaker. I'm not an undertaker, I'm an overtaker. Like Allah Shah mentioned earlier. I am an overtaker. I am here to overtake the devil. I'm here to get in these schools and make some of our kids school teachers and principals, so that we can start teaching in these schools. Because a lot of times, that's why I left the Board of Education. One, because I started going there and teaching like I'm teaching now. Oh, you can't do that in here, bro. You can't tell this baby that. You can't tell. I'm going to make it law that when you come in my school, I can be able to teach what I need to teach to save my babies. That's real saving. And again, they just did something with, I was on Facebook today, where downtown, like they just mentioned, you can't smoke in front of the school. They made a law downtown, if you smoke in certain places downtown now, you're going to get fined. I don't know how many people are up on that, but I stay on Facebook. Sometimes I don't even add on to some of the stuff that people say because I don't deal with ignorance. I do not deal with ignorance. So you're not going to get me to add on because you said something about my picture. You like it or you don't like it. That's how it goes. You know what I mean? I have done a lot of things in trying to get the nation to come and see God and the power of what we have now today, whereas while we got buildings. buildings out here. There's a lot of buildings. Even one day, I don't think the last y'all gonna remember this, but he came to me one day, and because we used to see each other in traveling. And the last y'all was going to school or something. And he said, yo, you know what, God? And you mentioned, you know what, God? You know, a lot of times we got to go through trials and tribulations in order to see the light. At that time, I didn't come to here, okay. But I see how Allah Shah changed out. I can hear his social skills. I can hear how he speaks. I can see that he talked in front of an audience, because there's a lot of people that can't even elaborate in front of an audience without a curse word coming out their mouth. But you know, in big business, where you're making millions, and we got to start showing that, is that when we get together, it's not an argument, it's about a bill. It is not an argument. I'm going to repeat that. It is not an argument, but about a bill. Because if it was about an argument, I've been left here a long time ago. But it's what you got in your heart. So I hope one day that the stacks we was talking about, and I heard the stacks and all that, I hope that one day we all can come together for those stacks. Now I haven't put out, and I put it out on my page, that I wanted to do a million, but I didn't explain what it was for. But today I'm going to explain that what it's for. We need gold in order to make things happen. Am I right? We need gold in order to make things happen. Right? You can't just be talking. So if you gave $1, the millions of people here gave $1, that's a new computer lab. And whatever else we got going on. But that was the new computer lab. See, and I only mention computer labs because that's basically what I do. And that's where I hope that we can get some of the young people that's learning now to come in there and become some of the computer teachers. Tubar mentioned about Father Bouchon and Ramel. The way I got that computer lab is from Father Bouchon and Ramel. Because when I came there, the ceiling was dropped down, and you can see up inside the top of the area up there, and there was some old copies in there. So I came with the idea after leaving college, and whatever else I was doing, that I'm going to come back, and I'm going to deal with my nation. And that's what's got to happen with our young, and not so much as the oldest people stepping off, but overseas. That's what's got to happen. Because in order to learn things from it, you got to learn from the old. So don't never discount the old. Because the old is the one that's going to beat the drum, so you will have the knowledge to understand what you have to do. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm one of them old now. At one time I used to sit in the chair like my man God is sitting. Listen to everybody talk. And heard the stories about there might be spies in here. And I'm always, my God is always up for that. That there is going to be an individual that he got some negative plans. And that's how it be. But I'm ready for you, Mr. Negative. Because I'm going to throw a positive at you, and we're going to straighten that out. Because once you see who I am, then you're going to understand me. I'm not going to try to get at you with like you want to have an argument with me. I'm not an argument guy that want to have arguments. I did that when I was young. I did that at 17. Brothers coming up to me and saying, well, how you see this? What? What? I understand that they have to happen. But if I've been around you 50-something years, what, don't you know me? Don't you know me? 50-something years, and you don't know me. That's a shame. That's ignorant. Ain't nothing. A teacher is a teacher, and the criminal is a criminal. I recently put up a post, and then I'm going to end it with this. I recently put up a post, and the post was, you got 2 sons. One of the sons is in jail, and the other son is going to college. And I asked, which son would you send the care package to? Somebody want to answer that? they're in prison, and they not understanding, they thinking, ain't nobody caring for me. Ain't nobody caring for me. So if I send it to one son, you cared about him more than you cared about me. So what I'm doing is teaching you that I love you, my brother. And I want to make sure that you're going to be right. But when you get out of there, make sure you get an understanding of what you did. So when you come out there, know that I love you. But you got to start building. So the second time, it's not going to happen. But the first time, you got 2 sons. And you answered, right? You got 2 sons. Make sure you treat them both the same. And I got that from an old Grand Earth back in the days, because I had 4 daughters. And I went to actually I had 5 kids. I went to the Grand Old Earth and I said, let me ask you a question. I got 4 daughters. She said, hold it, stop it right there. All those kids you got, treat them all the same. Else, get out my room. Just like that. And that came from Kusa's mother. Treat them all the same. If you start treating them different, then what's going to happen? Africans. I'm just going to say Africans. That's how deep my lessons go. I don't like going around quoting, because like Allah Shah just now said, you got to understand and you got to live it out. So why does the devil call our people Africans? It's the same thing when you're dealing with your family. You don't call nobody different. I'm light skin, dark skin. That was a conversation I was hearing last night. Damn that. If shit broke out now, guess what's going to happen? All the blood that's running through your veins, they measure that out. You got to do that enough to be called a black American, whatever they call it. That's what's going to happen. You want to do down with the blacks. I don't care how light skinned you are. They got a thing where I deal with a lot of people in the community, the Dominican, and the Puerto Rico. One is dark, one is light, one is... What the hell? That's an African thing. You go to church, and I told them, this is the last thing. I get around a whole lot of people, and they get on my nerve with this Baptist, this here. You know, all the separation. I tell them, you know what I think? Religion separates you. You separated by religion. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. But now, guess what? When they come to making that money, for the 10%, you got a funeral coming up, they all come together. Because I saw that recently. I had a cousin that just passed. But I'm saying, one of the people in my family is a pastor. Go all the way down south and took over the church. How that happened? How that happened? All right? So, you know, basically these are just ideas. So if you see me posting on the internet, as far as your pictures, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build a computer lab for the children. Peace. Hey! Hey! Hey!
As y'all know, we have to collect gold in order to make sure that we can have our parliaments here. If we had our own, we wouldn't have to do that. That's why we're trying to collect gold to put something in our yard so we don't have to collect money to pay somebody else. When we have our own and we don't have to pay nobody because it's ours. Right? So now we got to collect money in order to make sure that we can have our parliaments. So we are collecting money today so we have our parliaments next month. So this is going right. Hey!
Nation business will happen after going King's Speech.
Can I ask for all those who do not know me, I come to divine name, called King of Love. Can I please ask everyone in the auditorium, I know it might seem to be a little uncomfortable, but can I ask everyone to come together in this middle row so we can see the power that we have and the power that we need to add on to. And as soon as we get situated, I will start the bid. Please, if everyone can come sit in the center, everybody that takes pictures, I want you to come forward because the nation needs to see the nation's power. Because the power is in the people, and the people are the power. Today's mathematics and wisdom. Wisdom born is knowledge, knowledge orbiting on wisdom. Where are we? We're in 92. Look at these mathematics. Come on, y'all, gods and earth, if y'all could just come on and get in the center. Father Tahir, righteous mathematics. I know that y'all, if y'all get in the center, because they told me that some of the baby is full of the rest. You understand? So we gotta wake them up. Because who do we need? We need the baby, right? Wisdom born, knowledge, born wisdom, my God. See, for me, this is one of my favorite mathematics, and let me tell you why. It's a little bit selfish, but wisdom is be born, that's born, and then knowledge is king. So it's my day! And you gonna feel me. You know why you gonna feel me? Because I know how to reach. I don't need no microphone. I know how to reach the thought centers and the senses that people use emotionally to be able to feel the power of sound that travels at 1,120 feet per second. Let me just start by saying, just a lost nation understood and received, ye are all gods and children of the Most High as the biblical revelation of our physical reality. Did y'all catch that? Or do I need to say it again? Now, you can read it again because in the January issue of the 5% newspaper, that's how I start my bill. And the reason why I start my bill like that is because those words that I use are an acronym for January. See, it's just a law nation now, man. Nobody can stop it. Nobody can block us. Because you know what they think we divided, right? They think when you divide it, you can be made to fall. They think that they can come amongst us, trip us up, and then we're going to be lost because we'll be down in the dirt. But what they don't understand is that we are the rich soil of the earth that was raised from the dead by Almighty God Allah. But let me explain what the knowledge is. The knowledge is the foundation because that is what the Lord used to define who we are when He said ye are all gods. Who is the original man? Let's say it together. The original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the creator of planet Earth, father of civilization, God in the universe. You see how we all know that? Because that's the knowledge. And you know why the knowledge is so important on the wisdom born day? Because when you make your wisdom born, knowledge is revealed, knowledge is shared to the people who are within the circumference of the sound of your voice. So let your voice carry the word. Because your word is what? Knowledge. Born! Your word is attached to your life. Now let me tell y'all something, man. I've been here. Years, months, and days. Don't let this fool get me. I got history here. You know why? Because from the time that I got it till right now today, you know I can see in this audience brothers that I've known 30, 40 years. Let me ask y'all a question. You know this man right here? Divine Prince? You know when I met him, Jamaica High, you know what I'm saying? He told me the black man is God. You know what I did? I laughed at him. You know why? Because I was a different kind of knowledge then. I was a knowledge culture. Defined in the 1 to 40 as who's the 85%. Uncivilized. Wasn't that me? I was a slave. Prince of Death and Power. I was one of the people who did not know who he was. I didn't know who the true living God is. But the knowledge and the culture. He said the knowledge is the black man is God. The black man is God? You mean these people been lying to me all these years? on, God too. So the piece of magnetic for me was the knowledge that the black man. Let me say that. The piece of magnetic for me was the knowledge that the black man is God. So, Allah said that He would define us, His sons, I'm going to get you daughters. He said, ye are all gods. But when He said children of the Most High, that's what He was talking about. His daughters and the babies. Because the daughters and the babies are the children of the Most High. Who's the Most High? Look at me. Dog. When you see leg, head, we're not talking about no Muslim ideology. Just imagine if you are the original man and you're physically birthed and you're self-creating, and when you touch down on the planet and you look at the pristine waters of the Nile Valley region and you see there in the water the reflection of yourself, tell me, what do you see? Allah. That's why it's your name. But the only one that can give us the knowledge, purified, pure and simple, was the man who got to the knowledge through his own self-realization and exploration and introspection, which is the internal journey inside of oneself. Now let me explain something to you. When y'all call it the knowledge degree, son of man, ye who are all gods, that keep telling you that you civilized people, we going to inside. When y'all tell me who you are, remember when we said father civilization, that means you fathered civilization into existence. And you gave not only the meaning of civilization, you the one who taught the uncivilized how to be civilized. Do you understand that there's a difference between being a father civilization and being a civilized person? I mean, how many people do understand that? Raise your hand if you understand it. But don't raise your hand if you lie. Don't lie. Because in this room, the truth is what prevails. Now let me tell y'all the difference between a civilized person and the father civilization. Because your tool bag as a civilized person, I understand cultural refinement, and it's not a sacrifice you have. But the father civilization, the God said the 1 to 9. Because the 1 to 9 dictates the reality of this planet. When I was a thought in my father's physical brain and he beheld the beauty of my mother, I was born in one day. 270 days later, I emerged from the womb. Tell us how babies are created from a live air seed particle in the cloud of blood. Let me ask you a question. How many gods in here got knowledge in the God cycles? Now we're talking about 20th century gods. Do y'all understand that? So, when we was in the God cycles, the knowledge came before born. And it wasn't until we got to knowledge born, that we entered the 21st century and two was in first place. In the year 2000, all the double sources. Who heard us, man? Nobody said that. Because we had come full circle. You heard the brother mention full circle. 2000 BC, we came full circle to 2000 AD. Do y'all understand that when we got to 2000 AD, you got to understand the significance is that devil is now in so much overtime that's why he thought his world was going to end. His expiration date was already in the 20th century because it was 1914. Right? But now we had come full circle to the year 2000. But let me take y'all back to this live air seed particle to the cloud club. Because that journey is a journey that we've all experienced.